think the idea for one thing after another, it's come from, I suppose, a really long interest in the idea of the copy and the replica as an important part of how architecture is made and how architecture is conceived.
The collaboration with Sam Jacob's studio, it's really come out of a programme of exhibitions and events that we've been doing here at StoWerkstatt. And really at the heart of that programme is collaboration and experimentation.
What really fascinated us was the possibility to try and essentially take a piece of architecture through a digital process and then output it again. The shed represents, I suppose, a sort of, almost like a kind of primitive form of architecture.
And we photographed it. From that, it rebuilds a point cloud of the object and then rebuilds a mesh of the object. And that was the basic process for how we took the information into the digital from the physical. We scale it up by 1.8, a kind of uncanny but noticeable scale shift, and then we cut it out of a product called Sto Verolith, which is a homogeneous material made out of 90% perlite, and that gets CNC'd and then delivered in panels.
So in this case, just the act of scaling, I think, is, which is you just pull a handle on a computer and things get bigger or smaller.
When we started the conversation with Sto, we were looking at the question of quite how true we could be to the original in the copy. And so the question of fidelity comes up, and when you're translating between physical and digital and back to physical, there's always going to be some information lost in translation. But that's the interesting point. The point at which the information is lost is the point at which the copy is made.
The most surprising thing is actually how very difficult it is to produce the right kind of copy.
So we looked at trying to reproduce like real grain in stone, which is an interesting idea to us, but actually perhaps slightly less interesting than acknowledging that this is a digitized copy, that it's never going to be quite like real life, but it might be uncannily close to real life.
So I think these will definitely change the way we think about architecture, and perhaps resolution would be a very good way to understand the precision of an architectural project.
So I think the collaboration between Sto and Sam Jacob's studio, and this sort of toing and froing about the materials and also the processes, I think that's what's made this project quite successful.
We probably do need to develop a more nuanced understanding of authenticity in the digital age or in the 21st century, and one that acknowledges that truths are not necessarily facts, that truths are things which can be constructed. There is some closer relationship between the digital realm and the physical realm. Things don't have to be as they are. There is this kind of crack within which imagination can kind of leverage new ideas of how we might live